Good morning. I really missed my big screen. But here I am in Breckenridge, and unbelievable, but I've actually had two requests, and they were both for the same thing, neck and shoulders. Um, One person is having pain with rotator cuff and moving the shoulder, and the other person is doing a lot of forward work and is beginning to get that head forward syndrome. And when I look up in my lesson plans, I think I have about, mm, well, I certainly had 10 for shoulders, and then I have another 8 or 9 for neck. And then I have a whole series on head forward syndrome. So I guess that's what we're going to work on the next couple of weeks. Look at this. I'm treating my cancer. And so it's really raw and ugly. Anyways, I'm going to try some new technology. Well, it's not new technology. It's something I've had for ages, but we haven't used it except for when I usually go on. Oh, let's see if this will even work. I've got it on my iPad. Okay, so let's see. Oh, it doesn't show the skeleton very well, does it? Um, I really love this, so I'm going to see if I can get it to work. Okay, so here is the shoulder and the skeleton, and I'm going to try to see if I can get it a little bit better. There you go. You can see the shoulders. You can see the shoulder blades attached to the back, and that is the anterior serratus that you see right there. And you can put, if I touch it, see if I can get it, and then if I turn it around, ooh, isn't that cool? Anterior serratus comes around to the front and attaches onto the shoulder bone. You can see it attaches right onto the head of the humerus, which is right there. Okay, so then going around, and you can see the collarbones. They're in the front. And then along the back, let's get this guy standing up. There's the shoulder blades, okay? Now I'm going to go to a different view because I have actually quite a few on the shoulders, and we haven't really looked at them. I wanted to show you all the muscles of the shoulders. I had it here a second ago. Where did it go? Probably because I saved it. Muscles of the shoulders. Huh. Recently viewed. There you go. Muscles of the shoulders. Okay. Once again, I got to get it quite an angle. So here's the biceps. And when I touch it, it turns blue and it shows you that it's the biceps. I want to do the disappearing view. Shoulder joint. Aha, we've gone now to the shoulder joint. And you can see that the shoulder joint, see, there's the acromion process. That's that little bone that sticks out. But I always tell you, you're not able to see if you're not able to raise your arms straight out because the head of the humerus bumps onto here. And these are all sort of floating bones. This is your collarbone. See how it's just sort of floating? It really doesn't attach to anything. And the shoulder blade in the back, let's see if I can turn it around. The shoulder blade in the back, do you see this ridge here? And it comes out, and that makes part of the shoulder. And then there's that little tiny connector there. That's the cup of the shoulder blade compared to the hip cup, which is really quite amazing. Let's see, I don't want to get that in there. Why is that up there? There you go. And then the bottom part of the shoulder blade, see if I can get that to move. And then if you look at it all the way around, it sort of makes, see, there's a acromion process, and then there's that little cup, and then there's the collarbone, and there's the head of the humerus. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? I just love this. And I'm sorry that I don't get to use it very often. Okay, so here are the muscles. And obviously that's the deltoid, okay? And then that is the pec muscle. And this is the muscle that goes all the way around from the front to the back. Let's go around to the back then. And look at that one. That's a huge, huge muscle. And it is called I want to make sure I'm giving you the right thing. That's the pectoris major. And then I want to go around to the back and show you the latissimus dorsi. Remember how I told you how much I like the latissimus dorsi? And it actually goes all the way down to your hip. Okay, so those are many of the muscles. I actually tried to get down to, I wanted to show the anterior serratus, and then from the back, the rhomboid. Let's see if I can get to that. Nope, it's not giving it to me. The shoulder muscle, shoulder girdle, rhomboids. No, it doesn't give it to me. But I did have it. Let's see if I can find it in my recently viewed. And then right back to that one. And then we're right back to that one. There we go. Here's a lot. Aren't these great? Look at all these muscles we got in. So to review, we didn't get the trapezius. Hard to get the angle right. We didn't get the trapezius, and that's the one that is, I'm afraid if I go around to touch it, I'll lose it. That's this one. And you've got one on each side, and it attaches onto the top of the shoulder, goes all the way up to the neck. And this is the one that raises our shoulders up to our ears. That's the one that's really hard to relax. And then they give you the auto hide. I want to get down to the rhomboids. Let's see, let's hide. Okay, there we go. So now I hide the trapezius on that side, and then we'll hide it on this side. Let's see if it'll let me do that. Hide. It's hard to do it when I can't see the stupid thing. Maybe if I do it like this, and then I can see it. Okay, so we're going to hide the trapezius. Hide it. And then we get down here to the rhombus. And there's one on each side. And let's see if I can, these are the outside of the shoulder blade. Let's hide that. And then hide the deltoid. And there's the rhomboid. Can you see it? On this side particular, there's the rhomboid. And those are the muscles that help you pull your shoulder blades together. And then underneath that is their anterior serratus. So let's hide this. That's latissimus dorsi. And we'll hide that. And there's your anterior serratus. And so your anterior serratus and your rhomboids, see how the anterior serratus are connected to the inside or that bottom edge of your shoulder blade, and the rhomboid is attached to the middle or the inside edge of your shoulder blade. Okay, that's a lot of anatomy, and I think that's a good start. So today, now let's see if you can get back to me. Today, that's what we're going to work on. And I have to, what I'd like to work on today is last week we did hips, didn't we? But the week before that, we did internal, external rotation. So we're going to go along with that, but then we're going to talk about locked long and locked short. So internal, external rotation, excuse my drawing, remember internal, this is external rotation. When you roll the arm bone out or palms towards the ceiling. And then internal rotation is when the palms come down, and that's what you use when you go behind. So internal rotation, external rotation. Protraction, retraction. So protraction pulls your arms forward, retraction pulls them back. When we spend a lot of our time with our arms in front of us, then the muscles here in the front, the pec minor, the pec major, they all get contracted. And the muscles in the back, the rhomboids, the trapezius, they end up getting locked long. That means their muscle fibers get stuck at the long place. And in the muscles in the front, the muscle fibers get stuck in the connected phase. And what we want is we want those muscle fibers to move easily between the locked long and the locked short. So driving, eating, texting, computing, weaving. What else do we do? Crafting, sewing. I've been doing a lot of sewing. Sleeping. If you're someone who sleeps on their side, then you are sideline and locked short, locked long. So if you do that, I want you, right when you wake up, before you get out of bed, I want you to do a clamshell and open up all the way, but keep your knee over your knee, and then let your this opens up and go, oh, hit a wall. Go ahead and do the full circle all the way around, coming to the front, and do 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 of those. Okay, so that you can put your head under your pillow. You can also do where you go slowly up, up, and around. I'll get further back so I'm not hitting the stupid wall. So you would go clamshell and then go up and around, keeping your palm towards the ceiling and then coming back around. So when you go up, then back, try to keep your palm towards the ceiling for your full range of motion. You can also go all the way to midline, then externally rotate. And you can go either way, but I want you to spend some time opening up your chest, okay? And if you spend an hour at whatever it is you're doing, you always have the option of trying to open up your chest by reaching back, or you can stand at a wall or a door. I'll come back here so you can see. So if I have a wall here, you're playing painting anybody, but then you step forward so that you're opening this, and just breathe. Just breathe. That's all you have to do. You can also do it on a chair. I'm going to have one here, by holding onto the chair and then stepping forward so that you have that openness. But of course, it's better to have it where you're up. So I have a wall here. Can't see me. I'll come down onto my knees. So here's a wall corner. I come forward of the wall and then breathe. And you want to do it to both sides, maybe 5 or 6 breaths. Getting this to stretch, and the ones in the back, we've been working on those for years. And that's when we do child's pose, pull, right? That's what we're working on, is those back muscles. Okay, it's a long preview, but let's go ahead and start on our back in constructive rest. So try to settle down, and as you settle down, I want you to pay attention to your shoulder blades and your chest wall. Got my lesson plan here, so that's why I'm going to be looking off to the side. I usually have a piece of paper. So make sure that your arms are out away from your body with the palms up. And they can just be out maybe, 3 or 4 inches. That's external rotation. So when you're lying there in external rotation, let's first define the neutral spine. So your head connects to the earth, the neck swoops away, the back chest wall is on the mat. Your collarbones are broad. Your shoulder blades are on the ground at a fairly neutral place. Then your back swoops away in the lower back and the pelvis rests on your mat, either connected, grounding. Take a deep breath and let the exhale go all the way out. And see if you can find a little bit more comfortable by maybe squirming a little bit, maybe mindfully taking your shoulders down and away from your ears. We tend to use our trapezius and our shoulders hook up next to our ears like they're supposed to be part of our large earrings. So move your hands down and away so that your arm bones come down and away, your shoulders come down. And relax your jaw. Relax your tongue. Relax the muscles in your face. Take another deep breath. And with the exhale, mindfully bring your ribs down towards your tailbone. And then release. So drawing your rib cage down towards your pelvis helps release those locked muscles in your back that hook your shoulders up to your ears. Remember, we're all connected. And then let each exhale go all the way out to the end. Everyone pause. And take your awareness now to your shoulder girdle. That includes the collarbones in the front, the chest bone in the front, the shoulders that connect to all that anatomy I showed you, shoulder blades in the back floating on the rib cage. So what are the movements we can move with our shoulder socket? External rotation, our arms is where we are, palms are towards the ceiling. Rotate, and moving my arms out to the side and rotate the hands, the palms down. That's internal rotation. Now, right now, we are in the coronal plane. And the coronal plane is like a headband. Okay, so it's the plane that cuts your front of the body back away from the front back of the body. If you go behind the coronal plane, which is down into the floor, how we are right now, it would be internal rotation. And if we go in front of the coronal plane, it's external rotation. So go ahead and do the external rotation. And then the internal rotation, palms down and palms up, external rotation. Then we have protraction and retraction. Bring your arms up to the ceiling, fingertips towards the ceiling. Reach the fingertips forward. Notice your arm bones come forward. Notice your collarbones are narrower and your shoulder blades are further apart from the spine. Retraction, draw the humerus, the upper arm bone, down into the ground. Your shoulder blades are closer, your collarbones are wider apart. If you watch your hands, when you do protraction, notice your hands come closer together. Exhale into retraction, notice your hands are further apart from each other. So when we're always protracted and we're always working with our arms in front, then notice that your muscles in the front are all contracted. Collarbones are contracted, and the muscles in the back are longer. They are stretched. So retraction is really important, right? Learning how to retract, even when you're driving, even when you're reading, even when you're weaving or texting. So now grab your strap. We've already talked about clamshell, right? So we're not going to, usually I would start this practice off with the clamshell twist, but I want you to notice when we have our strap, notice, put your hands around the ball of your right foot, reach the heel up and extend your left leg. I'm going to have to change the view of this slightly, aren't I? So as you're doing that, notice that when you reach your hand up to put the strap on, you are protracting, right? Now reach the heel out, still protracting. Now reach the left leg out. I might have to give myself some strap to get that leg straight. Now notice that the arm bones are in the front of the socket. Retract and bring the arm bones into the back of the socket. That's using those back muscles. And anytime you pull on your arms, like even when you're driving, you can pull on the steering wheel to get your arm bones into the back of the socket. Okay, so let's bend the knee and do it the other side. So that we're just really warming up right now. So protraction, Get the leg straight by reaching the heel towards the ceiling. Get the right leg out. So now it's around the left. Now retraction. Draw the arm bones down to the ground. Notice your collarbones are now broader. Your shoulder blades are closer together. So supine leg stretch isn't all about stretching the hamstrings. It's also about strengthening your upper back muscles. Nice deep breath, and exhale all the way out. So protraction, retraction, external rotation, internal rotation. Now take the right arm up to the ceiling, bring it over to the left side. Take the left arm, bend the elbow, and let the weight of your left arm draw your right arm across your chest. And breathe and exhale, and notice what your shoulder blade is doing. Okay, so now when you really pull that right arm across, just put the weight of gravity of your left hand and breathe into that opening. And then we'll release that side and take the left arm over to the right side, bend the right arm, and let the weight of the right arm release all of that tension underneath your left shoulder blade. Now notice this is collapsing the front of your chest, lengthening the back. So that's one side. Now roll over onto your left side and we'll do clamshell twist. So knees are up by your chest. Right arm is in front of you. Inhale, open. Exhale, open all the way. Now, as you open up all the way, keep that knee tagged down. Don't let that knee go back. You want to keep that knee tagged and keep your lower back, your pelvis stable. Roll your belly button back towards the mat so that the twist is coming in your upper body, not in your lower back. And then just slowly take a breath and then rotate your arm up a little bit, keeping the palm. You're trying to keep your hand as close to the floor as you can. As you can see, mine doesn't go all the way down to the floor. Some people do. It depends on how you are. And then keep coming up and taking a breath or two each time you move, and then a breath or two. And when you get up all the way to the top to 12 o'clock, you'll find that suddenly the stretch goes away. So then you can just go ahead and come down maybe a half a clock at a time. At least one breath and a full exhale every time you move your arm. I like to think of, doing it half an hour. So if by the head was 12 o'clock and then straight out is 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock, depending on which way you're going, then just go by half an hour for a breath. And that gives you at least 6 breaths. Now, to get the full pec muscle in the front, you can go down to 3:30 or 9:30, or I guess it's 8:30, and go all the way down until you no longer feel it. And I usually lose it somewhere around, I suppose I don't feel the stretch when I get down to about, let's see, if you're looking at it from 3:30, it would be 5:30, or it would be 7:30. And then come back up. And then slowly bring your hand up and back down in front. And then go over to the other side. I'm going to warn you, this is going to be sort of kind of a longer practice because I've really gone through the anatomy. Okay, so knees are tucked up, head is under, left arm comes up. Take a breath here and then let it go all the way out. So your gaze is towards the ceiling, but your left knee is over your right knee. And then slowly, with your hand, let's call that 3 o'clock, if my head is at 12 o'clock, go to 2:30, and then to 2, and then to 1:30, and then to 1, and to 12:30. I have a little catch in my shoulder there. And then to 12. And I kind of lost the stretch now, so I'm going to go back to 12 and 11:30. And 11. No, I'm sorry. 1 and 130, right? 2 and 230. 3 and 330. And 4 and 430. 5, I'm kind of losing it. So I'll come back up to 430. And 4 and 330. And 3. Inhale up and coming back down. Let's come on to our back and do the shoulder reset. I think we did this a couple of weeks ago, but we're going to do it again because this is classic for the shoulders. So we're lying constructive rest. Let's start off with taking our, you can start off with the right arm. Hand is lightly fisted. Retract the arm bone down into the ground and then make little small, then toss saucer size. So it's like the size of maybe a grapefruit. And notice that you're moving from the head of the humerus and see if you can feel the different parts of the very top of the humerus against your mat. And I'll go the other direction. And now holding steady, still keeping the head of the humerus firmly into the mat. We inhale and go all the way out. You can let your fist lightly open up so you just hover and then come back up. Keeping the head of the humerus down, inhale, opening, exhale, coming back. Inhale, opening, exhale, coming back. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, opening, exhale, coming back. Last time. Inhale, opening, exhale, coming back. Relax your hand down by the side, close your eyes, and notice right side, left side. What do you feel? Do you see how that resets your shoulder blades? The left side on me is all hiked up and like it's away from the floor, and the right side I feel is more connected to the mat. So left arm up, a light fist, retract the arm bone, and make little circles the size of a grapefruit. And concentrate on having the head of the humerus reaching into the mat. Go the other direction, making 4 or 5 circles, size of a very large navel orange or a small grapefruit. And then inhale out to hover, exhale back. Inhale out to hover, exhale back. 3 more times, out to hover. Really pull that arm bone down. Notice how you're now the head of the humerus, and now you're sliding over to the side of the head of the humerus. Back up, last time, head of the humerus, all the way down, sliding. So you're actually using those muscles of your back. And then release down. Eyes closed. Now, are they equal? Good for you if you're able to have them equal. For me, the tension of doing that drew my right side up again. So now I'm going to wiggle around and try to release both of the arm bones down to the ground. Palms are up, so I'm externally rotated. And take a snapshot of what this feels like. Neutral spine. And now roll over and come up into tabletop. And in tabletop, notice your hands are directly under your shoulders. Back up a bit. And then externally rotate, internally rotate. Externally rotate, internally rotate. Now, when you do that, what does your back want to do? Internal rotation, you want to go into cat. External rotation, you want to come into cow. So do a couple of internal, external rotation and do the cat-cow that goes with it. Okay? Internal and external. Internal and external. So now, move in segments. We've done this before. Last week when we did hips, we moved from the sits bones. And this week, we just are starting moving from our shoulders. Okay, so find your neutral spine, lengthening out to the crown of your head. And now, as you push the floor away from you and you internally rotate, you let your neck fall down, let your thoracic spine hump up, let your belly button push your lumbar spine, and your tailbone tries to reach your nose. Okay, now keep the lower back like that while you open up your neck, gazing forward, externally rotating the upper arm bones, opening up the collarbone, shoulder blades are closer together, belly sinks down, tailbone goes up. Now do that one more time from your shoulders and your neck and work from your shoulders. So push the floor away from you, neck comes down, belly rises up to the ceiling, tailbone tries to touch the nose. External rotation of the upper arm bones in your neck swoops up, belly sinks, pelvis rotates forward, tailbone goes up. Do it one more time on your own. And then another shoulder reset is to, my hair does not want to stay in the back. So we'll start with the left arm. I'll start with the right arm because then it's more even. You take so gently externally rotate your upper arm bone. So I like to do it by feeling like I'm sweeping my fingers to the side, but my fingers don't move. So the eye of the elbow is now facing forward, the tip of the elbow is facing your thigh. So now your shoulder blades are fairly close together. Can you keep your shoulder blades right there when you lift up your right hand, outswing and put it down? Lift up your left hand without swaying. Those are your obliques that are working to keep you stable. And put it down. Make sure you're reset now so that you sweep your fingers to the side, shoulder blades are together, gently knit your ribs, and bring your right elbow to your waist with a light fist. Action and resistance, straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. We're using our triceps, we're using our back muscles, and this is all helping our back muscles and our shoulder blades to get a reset. And then put that down. We'll do it to the other side. So lengthen out through the neck, ponytail crown of the head, externally rotate, sweep the fingers out to the side without letting them move. Gently lift the ribs. Find your stability. Raise the left hand, bend the elbow, light fist, extend and straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. One more time, straighten and bend. Bring your hands down and cat. And with the next cat, sink back into child's pose. Problem with the iPad is that it keeps on closing. From child's pose, come forward to prone mount. In prone mountain, your hands are down by your heart. Lengthen out through the neck. Now, press down with the hands and pull back and notice what that does. Can you feel how it lengthens your upper spine? It brings your shoulders away from your ears. It turns on the muscles of the back, the rhomboids and the anterior serratus, and come up into baby pose. And come back down. So when we were in constructive rest, we were on our back. Now we're on our front. And now for locust pose, ground the pubic bone, press down and pull back, come up into baby cobra, lift the hands up, take them back and internally rotate. So that means the palms are up towards the ceiling. Lift the legs and move the shoulders away from the floor so that you have more of an extension, and then raise the arms up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Come all the way forward back to prone mountain, curl the toes, do a knee push-up, externally rotate the arm bones so that you're using the back muscles too, knit your ribs and do a knee push-up, and then go all the way back to child's pose. Fingers are on the outside of the mat, elbows are straight. Reach the sits bones back, reach the fingers forward. So now that we're getting at that front arm line, you can come up onto fingertips. And press down with the fingertips and pull back. Now, can you feel that engaging those back muscles? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flatten your palms. Press down with your hands and pull back. 5, 4, 3, isometric, 2, 1, and relax. Pay attention to what muscles turn on. We're going to do it one more time. Press down and pull. Can you feel it into your armpits? Can you feel it into your back? Can you feel it all the way down to your pubic bone, all the muscles in the front? And release. This time only. Press down and pull, coming forward into knee up dog. In knee up dog, roll your arm bones into the back of the sockets, not to the front of the sockets. It's thoracic extension, and thoracic extension always means you externally rotate your upper arm bones. Curl your toes and raise your knees if you like, pulsing gently back on your heels, and then go all the way back to down dog. Down dog, keep your arms externally rotated. Oh man, I don't like how this iPad is making me. Okay, externally rotated, and then bend the knees, look up to the hands, walk your feet forward. Inhale to lengthen. When you lengthen, externally rotate your upper arm bones. When you fold, let them relax to come forward. Press down to come all the way up. And we're back to mountain. Cool. I guess I'm going to have to change the view, aren't I? I'm not perfect when I'm not in my studio. Okay, so standing in mountain pose. Externally rotate, internally rotate. If we are doing a sun salutation, then we're going to come up and forward. Remember, if you come up straight out, that acromion process gets in the way. So you come up at an angle. Once you go past it, then you can come all the way up. And then when you come down, like you're swimming through water, internal rotation behind. So like when we're in high lunge or humble lunge, it's internal rotation. When we're in high lunge, it's external rotation. We're going to do one sun salutation. I don't like this angle. I'm going to bring it up on the table and see if that works a little bit better. Sorry. So let's do some heels up, arms up, okay? Heels up, heels down, heels up, heels down. Arms included. Heels up, arms up, heels down, arms down. Do that 2 more times while I rearrange my mat. Heels up, arms up, heels down, arms down. So notice when you take your arms up, it's an external rotation. Okay, heels up, arms up, heels down, arms down. I'm going to do chair. Heels up, arms up. Come to chair, sideways, chair. Now in chair, are you in protraction or retraction? Try it. Retraction, try protraction. Retraction, protraction. Press down to come up. Grab onto your left wrist and rotate over to your right. Bring your side fascial line. And then coming up, grabbing onto your right wrist and over to the left. Inhale, coming up, arms down. Heels up, arms up, come into chair, and forward fold. Inhale to lengthen. When you lengthen, externally rotate your upper arm bones. When you fold, walk your hands forward, down dog. As you go into down dog, externally rotate your arm bones. Let your head fall down between your upper arm bones. The humerus, you shouldn't be touching your ear. The tension or the tendency is to internally rotate. So really concentrate on externally rotating. And come forward into plank. From plank, do your push-ups. So come down with your knees if you need to. And go whatever you can do. I'm going to do the full knee push-up. You might do half an inch or an inch. But I worked my way to a full knee push-up. You call it the stop. You took your arms out to the side. Oh, there's one of you who can do this. Okay. Prone mount. And curl your toes. Ground your pubic bone. Notice what muscles turn on. Ground your hands, press down, pull back. Notice how it takes your shoulders away from your ears, lengthens your neck, opens up your chest. Thoracic extension is always with external rotation. Using those back muscles. That's why this is such an important pose. Let's do another locust pose. Raise your heels, take your arms back. And we went up last time, so let's bring the thumbs towards each other. 2, 3, 4, shoulders away from the mat. 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. Crocodile pose. At 11,000 feet and talking, I can feel it. And then come back to prone mountain, curl the toes, do a knee push-up. Go all the way back to child's pose. Another opportunity for getting those back muscles. Press down and pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Press down and pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. This time we come forward. Press down and pull, coming up into knee up dog. Externally rotate those upper arm bones, curl the toes, raise the knees. Press back with the knees, externally rotating the upper arm bone, keeping those external rotation, pike back to down dog, gently bending the knees. End of the exhale, bend the knees, look up to the hands, walk the feet forward. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. Push down to come all the way up and back to mountain. Grab your block. Let's do this again. So, block in hand. We're going to do protraction, retraction, protraction, retraction. Now, protraction, retraction, rotate around, internal rotation, and go back. Whew. And then internal rotation, come forward, and protraction. One more time. Come to midline, internal rotation, behind, external rotation, forward. Close your eyes and notice how you feel. One side versus the other. We'll do the other side, left hand. Protraction, retraction, protraction, retraction, protraction, retraction, protraction, external rotation. Behind coronal plane, you're going to bend it over, and internal rotation. External rotation in front, internal rotation in back. And put the block side. Stepping wide for sumo. Hands at hips. When your hands are at hips, you're pretty much shoulder girdle is in neutral. Shoulder blades are wide, collarbones are wide, win-win alignment. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, triple flexion coming down, but don't let your collarbones come together. A little bit wider in your stance if you find that your knees are going beyond your toes. You want it wider than your shoulders, but not wider than your wrists. Next time you come down, pausing here, raise the right heel, lowering down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left heel, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press down, up. And now we're going to do find your wall. And we're going to do push-ups at the wall. I don't know what level you're at, but you start at the wall, okay? So find the wall. Oh boy, it's not going to work on a slippery blanket. I didn't get my mat set up very well, did I? Okay, so at the wall. Now, the closer you come to the wall, the better, the easier it's going to be. So start with your arms at your shoulders and see how easy that is. Then maybe step back a step. You might have to bring your hands down sort of at the shoulders and then try to come down and up, keeping a neutral spine, okay? I don't know if you can see that very well. It's a little bit bigger, so I'm at the corner. Externally rotate the upper arm bones as you come forward, touching the forehead and coming up. Now, if that's too easy for you, step back a little bit. Bring your arms down a little bit. Externally rotate the upper arm bones and try doing 8 of those. So you choose the level at which you want to work. You might want to work closer, in which means your hands come up higher because they should be directly under your shoulders. Or you might want to go further down. I have to do it here because, oh, I can't go down that far. It hurts my wrists. Because I'm at a real angle on this wall, this corner. So if you didn't finish 8, then roll out your wrists. Roll out your wrists the other way. Externally rotate their arm bones in mountain pose. And we're going to do high lunge. High lunge is external rotation, okay? So take your right foot and step way back. Internally rotate your leg. Externally rotate your arm bone so that your palms are facing forward. Straighten the front knee, bring more weight onto that back. So you feel that psoas. Bending the straight leg. Maybe having hands at hips, more ground. Next time you pause here, external rotation, palms up. Try to reach the thumbs towards each other, thoracic extension. Then you bring the arms up, gaze up, face up. Knit your hips. Anytime your fingers are up towards the ceiling. Now, can you bring your arm bones away from your ears and still externally rotate? Protraction, retraction. Protraction, retraction. Stay at retraction. Come forward to projected lunge. Bring your arms back behind you, internal rotation, humble lunge. Pull the fingers towards the heels. Pull the ponytail crown of the head towards the ceiling. So you get that nice long line in the spine. And come forward into airplane or warrior 3. I guess it's warrior 1, warrior 3. And then come up into mountain. We'll do that to the other side. Mountain pose. External rotation of the upper arm bones. Feel how those shoulder blades are more secure on your back. Left knee comes up, tip over, reach far back. Internally rotate that back left leg. Hands at hips, straighten the front leg, raise the headlights, more weight onto the back. Pull with the front foot and straighten. 3 times. Keep those collarbones broad. Keep those shoulder blades snug on your back, just like we did when we were in tabletop. Next time knee is bent, pausing here. Palms open to the ceiling. Thumbs reach towards each other behind you. Now, arms come up. Retraction, protraction. Retraction, protraction. Retraction. See if you can keep that retraction. And then come into projected lunge. As you reach forward, fingers reach forward, arm bones pull back. So you have a real contrast in your arms. Heel reaches back down. And then internal rotation as you come into humble lunge. Let your shoulders relax away from the ears. Only know that because mine are up in their hand. And then come forward into airplane. And I usually rotate my arms forward. So I'm more into external rotation. And then bring your leg forward and come back to mountain pose. So high lunge is external rotation. But you can do internal rotation when you go back into humble lunge. Now stepping wide for warrior two. So left heel points in, right heel points out. Bend the knee and straighten. Hands at hips, your win-win alignment on your shoulder girdle. Collarbones are wide, shoulder blades are set on your back. Next time knee bends, pause here, hands to heart. A little bit of pressure in your hands is going to help externally rotate your arm bones, broaden your collarbones because it requires the muscles in your upper back to engage, particularly the rhomboids, okay? So inhale up and out, warrior two, looking out over your outstretched right hand. With the next inhale, tip the pelvis, keep that left arm behind you, palms towards the floor. As it comes up to the shoulder, externally rotate, go up over the ears, and now you can add the twist on by looking underneath your armpit. External rotation, version 1 of extended side angle. And then bring it all the way back, internal rotation onto your lower back. Open up your chest by looking over your left shoulder. Really opening, when you do this, hopefully, you can feel how your shoulder blades are together and you're broader across your collarbones. Then you can come up into version 2. Press down to come all the way up to sumos. I have no idea when I started. Right toes turn in, left toes turn out. Pull with the heel, push to straighten. Moving with your breath. I'm going to inch forward a little bit because I notice that my knee is going beyond my ankle. Next time, knee stop, hands at heart. Pressing your hands together, noticing what that does to your shoulder blades and what it does to your collarbones. Broadening the front chest and contracting the back wall. Inhale up and out. Looking out over your extended left fingertips. Externally rotate the upper arm bones. Don't let them collapse forward. It's external rotation. With the next inhale, tip the pelvis, drop the forearm. That back arm is behind you, so it's internally rotated. Then when you get to your shoulder, external, thumb up, little finger down, up and over the ear, look under the armpit to look towards the ceiling, adds on a little bit of a twist in the upper back. Then bring the arm down to the shoulder, internal rotation, back of the hand goes onto your sacrum. Press down on your left elbow to open up the chest and look over your right shoulder. So you're opening up that right shoulder. Then the arm can come up because you've got that openness, broadness across your collarbone. And with the next inhale, reach for the ceiling. Come up into warrior 2. Straighten the knee, hands to hips, feet together into sumos. While you do that second sumo, then heel toe, bringing your feet together. And we're going to do eagle's pose. Cow face pose. Gosh, so much to do in so little time. It's going to be a long class. And I'm going to probably leave this up for the week. I was going to do 2 recordings, but I'm going to let you really do this maybe 1 or 2 times. So bring your block over to your left side, mountain pose. Externally rotate the upper arm bones, and then let the palms rest by your side. Mini squat. Bring your right leg over to the left. Arms out. External rotation. Keeping them that broad, bring the arms together. Ooh, what happens? Internal rotation. So you're going to have stretching the back muscles. Raise the elbows. Bring the back of the hands together and press into them and see if you can get external rotation. It's different, isn't it? And then maybe you sink down a little lower, pulling the arm bones into external rotation using those back muscles. And then looking right through your hands. Maybe the palms can also come together. Maybe you can sink down a little lower. Press down. Come up, release the arms, external rotate. Bring the block over to the other side. So eagle pose uses those back muscles if you're mindful. Mountain pose, external rotation. Mini squat. Bring the left leg over the right leg, resting it on the block. Squeeze the thighs together and the calves together. External rotation, arms out to the side. Because the left leg is over, the left leg comes under. Internal rotation, it's in the front of the body. To get the elbows over the elbows and raise up to the shoulders. Now, bring the arms together, or maybe the hands together, and externally rotate the upper arm bones. It's going to draw the shoulders away from the ears, broaden the collarbones. Maybe you can come down a little deeper. Using those back muscles to keep the collarbones nice and broad. Now you can also go as far as lifting up your foot from the block, adding more balance so you can keep it down. And then look out between your fingers so that you have that greater perception, the wider periphery of your vision. Keep pulling those arm bones back, broadening the collarbones, press down to come up and release. And external rotation. Find your strap. Cow face pose. Now we're not going to do the arms. We're just the feet. We're just going to do the arms. But if you want to, you're welcome. Take the strap in the right hand and put it behind you. Grab the left hand, bend the right arm, and walk the straps together. Keep that right elbow towards the ceiling. Don't let it go out to the side. Keep it hugged to your ear. Keep walking your fingers together. Maybe you'll be able to touch them. Aha. So this is cow face arms. I guess we can bend the knee. Right arm is up. So left leg is going to go over to the other side and open up the chest. Draw the arm bones into the back of the socket so that your collarbones are broad. Can you feel the strengthening of that? And keep that elbow close to you. Come up and release. Roll that shoulder out over to the other side. Take your strap in the left arm, bring it up, bend the elbow so that it's right on the back. Take the right arm, bend it like a windshield wiper, and then try to walk them together. You might notice one shoulder is different from the other. So try to get both arms to externally rotate, even though the back arm is internally rotated, right? It's internally rotated, but you want those collarbones to be broad. Bend the knees and bring the right leg over. Maybe you come down a little. Open up the collarbones. Try to keep that elbow close to the ear. See how mine wants to go out. See how yours wants to go out. Open up the chest. Take another breath. and then we'll come out. Cool. Okay. Stepping wide and get two salutes. Collarbones broad. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, coming up. Heel toe, coming to the top of your mat. Inhale, up salute. Exhale, tip the pelvis forward, fold. Notice how the arm bones come to the front of the socket. Inhale, open up the collarbones, broaden, externally rotate. Plant your hands, feet step back, down dog. In down dog, externally rotate your upper arm bones. This is where you build the strength. Reach the heels towards the floor, knees are lightly bent. One more breath, and then come down onto your knees and sink back into child's pose. Right hand goes over to the left side. Crescent child's. Try pulling your left arm bone back and retracting the left while protracting the right. So the left shoulder blade is coming down, the right shoulder blade is going up. And then come back to neutral. Feel both shoulder blades in the same place, press down and pull. Then take your right hand over to the right side. Protract the right as you take the right arm over the left hand. Retract the right arm bone, protract the left arm. That's why this is so good, because it seesaws your upper back. And it lets those rhomboids seesaw as one pulls and the other one stretches. And then come back to neutral. Put your hands under your shoulders, pushing up and making your way onto your back in constructive rest with your strap. So I know we did this in the beginning, and that was more as a demonstration of how important supine leg stretch is, because it really, if you are mindful, it strengthens your back muscles and helps with some of that head forward syndrome. So you're in constructive rest. Get yourself a ride. Find your neutral spine. Lengthen out the back ponytail curl of your head. Wiggle around until you can find your shoulder blades nice and stable. Pelvis nice and stable. Then take your strap and put it around the ball of your right foot. Notice your arm bones are protracted. Notice to be able to reach it, your heel is beyond your hip. So give yourself enough strap that you can bring your heel somewhere between your hip and the floor, not between your hip and the head. If you do that, you're going to pull your pelvis up off of the ground. So you want it between your hip and the floor. Arm bones are protracted. Take out your left leg and reach it out as far as you can. Then reach your right heel as far as you can towards the ceiling. Now pull, retraction, pull your arm bones into the ground. And here you might find you have to give yourself up some strap to keep that knee straight, right? And to keep the arm bones pulled back, and to keep that left thigh as close to the ground as you can. Now, those of you who want to really over, you can roll your pubic bone into the belly button and raise the left leg, pulling the arm bones down. And breathe here and notice how strong of a pose this is. And you can drop the left leg if you had it up. Take both straps into the right hand. Reach up, protraction. Wrap it around. Retraction as you go out to the side. And retraction, just like we did in the beginning, you're rolling over onto the side of the head of the humerus. You're really using those muscles on that side of your upper back, broadening across your collarbones, only going out as far as you can and still maintain your left hip on the ground. Inhale, coming up. We might as well go across because it feels good. Take it with the left hand, protraction, retraction, as you come across. Open up that right arm so that the collarbone can be broad, maybe even trying to externally rotate the upper left arm so that your collarbones can be nice and broad and so that you're using those back muscles. And then come back to neutral. Externally rotate both arm bones and retraction. Bend the knee, release the strap, pull the knee into the chest, and then draw the arm bones into the ground. Every time you have an opportunity to draw the arm bones into the ground, you're strengthening those upper back muscles. Take your pubic bone, roll it into the belly button, raise the left leg, point and flex a couple times. And then rotate a couple times. Keep pulling your arm bones into the back. Broad, collarbones are really broad. Drop the leg, and now release your external support of your right leg as you go wind relieving pose without any support. Arm bones externally rotate, palms towards the ceiling. Bring the knee over the hip, out to the side. 1, 2, and 3. Bring the foot down, bring the left leg to join, and take a resting breath or 2. And then take your strap. When you put the strap around the ball of the left foot, you protract. Then you give yourself enough strap until you can give your knee straight, and the heel is somewhere between your hip and the floor. The heel is not somewhere between your head and your hip. You want that tailbone on your mat. Then lengthen out your right leg. Reach the left heel towards the ceiling to straighten your knee. Protraction of your arm bones. You might have to give yourself a little strap to be able to get that protraction and hold that protraction. As you reach the right heel out, trying to straighten and keep the calf and the thigh on the floor. If your knee is bent, then you are pulling your pelvis up. So you want to reach that right heel out, and you want the whole back of the pelvis on the ground and retraction on your arm bones. It's a very complicated pose, I know. We just think you're building hamstrings, but actually you're doing so many other things. Exhale all the way out to the end, maintain that retraction. And then protraction as you reach the left arm up and grab both straps, then retraction as you draw the arm bone leg out to the left, right arm goes out to the right, reaching out with the heel so that you're keeping that knee straight, pulling and retracting the arm bone so that you're really using the rhomboids and the serratus on that side. So much is going on. Inhale, coming up, bringing the right arm up, both arms onto the one strap, each strap, and then protraction of the arm bones down for a breath. Then bend the knee, release the strap, wind relieving pose, draw the knee into the chest, protraction arms into the ground so that you're using that. And then, if you like, rolling the pubic bone into the belly button, point and flex as you raise the right leg. Maybe circles the other way. Drop the right leg. Remove your external support on your left. Try to keep the left knee that close as you release your arms, palms towards the ceiling at 4 and 8 o'clock. Broad across the collarbones. Then bring the knee over the hip, foot is still flexed, reaching that right heel out to the side. 1, 2, and 3. And bring the foot down. Bring the right knee up to join. Take a resting breath. And then a rock and a roll child's pose. Try child's pose, externally rotating the upper arm bones. Yeah. See how that feels different? In everything you do, try to always give yourself that broadness across the collarbones and try to let the upper arm bones externally rotate to get those to, now, happy baby, protraction, right? As you reach up for your feet. Now retraction as you draw the arm bones back, and now do happy baby with retraction of the arm bones. Even though your arms are in front of you, just like you were driving or reading or texting or eating or computing, whatever, you can always add a little bit of tone into the back muscles. And then bend your knees and make your way to Shavasana of your choice, whether it be in constructive rest, whether it be straightening your legs and arms in horse pose, external rotation, broad across the collarbones, maybe pressing down on the head, raising the chest, and letting your shoulder blades come closer together. And come back to your three fundamentals. How are you connecting to it? How does your body feel? How's your jaw with so much thinking, doing, pulling, retracting? Just relax your jaw, relax the muscles in your face. Shoulders relax away from the ears. The trapezius release. And let each exhale go all the way up to the Take a deeper inhale and a longer exhale. Another deeper inhale and a longer exhale. If you'd like to continue Shavasana a little bit longer, feel free, but I know this is a long pause. So wiggling your fingers and your toes if you're ready to get on with your day. Opening and closing your fists, rotating your wrists, pointing and flexing your ankles. Bringing the knees into your chest, giving yourself a rock and roll, dropping back, rolling over onto your side. And pushing up to make your way to seated. Now I know that we've already done the clamshell twist at the beginning. At the end of every class, a forward fold, which was our supine leg, was our forward fold. But we didn't do a twist at the end, so I'd like to do a twist. Put your hands on your knees and draw, pull on your knees, and notice how that draws your arms into the back of the socket. Broadening your collarbone, bringing your shoulder blades together, and pulling your pelvis forward so that you have a nice curve in your lower back. It's always a great place to start. Bring your hands to your heart and press your hands together. Another great place to start. So coming back with your hands onto your knees. Take your left hand onto your right knee, right hand behind you, internally rotating the right arm. And when you reach over, now externally rotate the forward arm and the back arm so that your collarbones are broad. And look over your right shoulder. Belly button comes back to you. Don't let your arms collapse forward. Do that external rotation of the upper arm bone, even the lower arm bone does internal rotation. We didn't really talk about that, but that's the radius. And then come back to center. Inhale here. Right arm onto left knee, left hand behind. Both are internally rotated. Now externally rotate the upper arm bones. And look over your left shoulder. I think last time we did half fish twist, and did the external, internal rotation. One more breath. Belly button back to the floor, and back to center. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. A little pressure on those arms, those hands, those collarbones get nice and broad. May all beings be safe and free from danger. May all beings be free of any form of suffering. May all beings live with ease. Namaste. This is a new practice. So, have a good week and see if you can fit this in. And I'll see you next time.